Today our group will be going through our project proposal. So we will go through the project overview, model architecture, and our objectives. Going into our client background, our client is a hotel chain that imports mooncakes from Hong Kong for sale during the months prior and during the mooncake festival season. They have 3 store branches located in Vivo City, Suntec City, and Takashimaya. Next, our project overview. Our project mainly aims to help our client manage their inventory of different mooncakes in the future years of sale and to determine the appropriate discounts they can give to boost sales. They would first have to input their expected growth in sales, historical sales data, and their supplier pricing strategy, which is the prices their supplier charge for the ingredients based on how much is ordered at once. Then our model will predict the demand for each flavor of mooncakes to determine an optimal inventory level for each flavor and to determine an appropriate discount to be given, as well as information on other factors affecting profit. So the main motivations for our project is inventory management. Our client hopes to reduce wastage and to manage its inventory more accurately and efficiently. Next is the high competition amongst different hotel chains and bakeries during the mooncake festival season. So our client hopes to keep their products attractive with more discounts, but without compromising on its revenue targets. So overall, our stakeholder is the general manager of the hotel chain in charge of sales and operations across the 3 store branches, and our group will deliver a spreadsheet solution with a demand forecaster and price elasticity of demand model. Using our solution, the client will be better able to predict the demand and give appropriate discounts to reduce wastage and maximize profit.
The model architecture of this project describes the overall structure of our model. Our model has 2 sub-modules, namely Demand Forecast Module and Price Elasticity of Demand Module, which can be seen from this diagram. I will be briefly going through the entire process flow for our model to illustrate how the various modules interact with each other. The user will begin the process when he or she lands on a homepage for navigation. The user will then input the expected sales growth on the data input-output sheet. The Demand Forecast Module will then forecast the optimal inventory to import based on the input growth and historical data. With the cost of inventory determined, the price elasticity of demand module will then find the best selling price and the appropriate discount rate. Finally, after using our model, the user will know how much to import and how much to price their mooncakes at.
I'll be now talking more about objective 1. I'll talk about the features and interaction, assumption and dependency, and analysis plan. Our first objective is to determine the amount of inventory to import for each of the mooncake flavor in order to satisfy a minimum service level based on forecasted demand. It has the following features and interaction. Its feature is to automatically calculate the amount of inventory to import from the supplier. Its interaction is that client can be expected to input the expected sales growth. Otherwise, it will be derived from historical data. The customer should also input service level input, and they are also required to input the supplier pricing strategy table in order to calculate the optimal amount of mooncake. Here is our influence diagram, which shows how everything is affected. Here is our black box diagram, which shows how everything is related. And finally, to assumption and dependency. Assumptions is that the customer's taste is not expected to change. And seasonal flavors are to be put in premium category as they can be different each year. In terms of dependency, we determine that the amount of samples is dependent on the mooncake demand. As for constraint, no utilization of 2020 data due to the pandemic. And finally, we will focus on physical sales of the mooncake only, and no online sales will be taken into consideration. And finally, for our analysis plan, linear regression will be used to calculate the historical data of the sales. It will be used to calculate the default growth of the demand based on past historical data. Afterwards, we will be using service level. We will first determine the standard error in the prediction based on the coefficient of determined retrieved from the R-square function. Afterwards, we will use the normal inverse function to determine the amount of inventory needed in order to determine the inventory.
I will now be going through our second objective for the project, which is to develop a price elasticity of demand model in order to maximize profits for the business. The model allows business users to explore and forecast the profitability of the business by modifying certain variables. Users can interact with inputs such as the selling price of the mooncake flavors, discount offering, or inventory to import. This model interacts with Objective 1's model for the inventory to import results, which constitutes the variable costs in this model. This is as shown in the influence diagram. Ultimately, our business users are interested in performance measures such as total revenue, total costs, and profit. This is the black box diagram that was modeled after our influence diagram. So for assumptions, we assume that rental, setup, and warehouse costs are assumed to be the same for all outlets. And also, we assume customers' demand will change accordingly to price changes. As for dependencies, as highlighted just now, this model depends on the inventory to import results derived from Objective 1's model. As for constraints, they share the same constraints as Objective 1, where we do not have 2020 data to analyze, and also we are focused on physical sales. As for analysis plan, we plan to use exploratory modeling to explore the business's historical data to address what-if scenarios with regards to the variables that can affect profits. And also, we aim to use decision optimization in order to maximize on the profits for the business by inculcating the results found from our exploratory model.
To conclude, the business value conferred to our client through our various objectives is that of cost efficiency and higher customer satisfaction, with cost efficiency due to less lockout, leading to lower transportation ordering costs, and less excess inventory, leading to lower inventory holding costs. There's also higher customer satisfaction due to less customer waiting time as a result of less lockout. So the second objective then offers the client a holistic numerical view of the profitability of the organization and allows for the optimization of business processes. So the learnings from the project for our group with regards to the technical aspect is that we are now able to meaningfully use data and apply the concepts to the class. With regards to the social aspect, our group has learned how to coordinate and communicate effectively with clients so that there's alignment of objectives. Thank you.